BB, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey everybody, we're in Rosewood, Florida, and we're going to give you a tidbit of a little bit of history of a violence, racial violence that happened here in 1923.
Yes, and it is Rosewood. And this is a story about a lady, and I think her name was Fannie. Yeah, Fannie Taylor, Frances Taylor, who lived down in Sumner, which is right down
the road.
The road, and it's almost like 2 miles down there is Sumner. And what it was is that this was a black community along this road, 24, Highway 24, which takes you to Archer and takes you to Eatontown. And these were all black communities that they were free, they weren't slaves. They got along with the white people. I mean, there was tension, but they worked.
They had their own businesses, they had their own schools.
Team, baseball team.
Yep.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, they lived a life. And of course, you know, you always have tensions, you know, racial tensions regardless anyway. But they lived good together. They worked, and I'm sure they were paid underpaid, but they worked together.
Yep.
And this is where Sarah Carrier, she practically raised half of Sumner white kids and their kids' kids. Okay, so she was highly respected in this town. But unfortunately, on January 1st, that Franny girl, she made an accusation that she was assaulted, and somehow assaulted turned into assaulted and rape. And then somehow assaulted and rape turned into assaulted and rape and more.
Yeah.
And she was cheating on her husband, who worked in the mill around here. So what happened was, what I was reading is that on December 31st of 1922, the KKK was down here from Gainesville, less than 2 miles down there, having a parade. They had a parade, a New Year's Eve parade. And then all of a sudden, this girl on January 1st screams, "I was raped."
Yep.
I mean, or I was assaulted.
And then it turned into rape.
For 7 days, this town, it says racial violence erupted in a small town and quiet Rosewood community from January 1st to the 7th, 1923. It says whatever the hell. Predominantly colored.
Community.
Right. And the residents supported school. I mean, by the Carriers. I mean, the Carriers really were the big family in this town here.
Carriers and Carters and Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot for this community.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it was like they started wanting to find out who did it. So they found one of the Carriers, and if I'm not mistaken,
Sam.
It was Sam Carrier. They said that because they said that he was the one, that the guy they were looking for, that he helped the guy escape in the swamp area. Right. And I promise you, this is all, we'll take a little cruise, this is all swamp. And this is no lie. And where we're at right now with this marker, the historic house is in here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the only, and it is the carrier, one of the carrier's house and stuff.
Yeah.
But it says, haunted by what happened, Rosewood residents took a vow of silence from 1923 to 1994. There was a writer, the guy who wrote the book to this movie. He discovered about this town. He found Minnie Lee Langley.
Yep.
And Arnett Turner Goines and Wilson Hall. Okay?
And they filed a bill through our state legislature.
Well, the thing was, is he found out what went on here, and she finally broke her silence.
Yes.
So now in 1994, they had no choice to say, hey, man, this stuff happened here. But, you know, Florida, not Florida, but the people covered it up. Right. Well, you could say Florida. I mean,
it was in Florida.
But then, of course, all of a sudden, you know, in May of 94, because now, remember, this movie's coming out in 97, and the world is ready to know. And I remember watching this movie. The world was ready to know what happened in this town.
Right.
I mean, this town was literally burnt to the ground. And this town leads to Archer. It leads to Eatontown, this road here, 24, which was all black communities that worked with white people. They weren't slaves, but, you know.
They owned their own land,
right.
their own homes.
I mean, hell, they were buying, if you see in the movie, they were buying white people property. Yeah. And they didn't like it, but hey, money is money, so they don't care. So anyway, after the 9 survivors received $150,000 each, 2.1 million,
anguish.
Right, compensation bill. So they spread all that out. And then a fund was established for any of the families who can demonstrate property loss. Now remember, when these people left, it's like Cuba. It's like Cuba. You leave your property, you leave your house. Guess who's getting it? Whoever's left there. Yep. So then, of course, in May 2004, Bush did this here. But it's real crazy because there is a movie about it. And right down the road is the cemetery, which we're going to go to. Yeah. But, I mean, it's just crazy how one lady lied.
And it destroyed 3, actually, it was like 3 towns.
Yeah.
Because they went in through Rosewood, Eatonsville,
yeah,
and Ashton.
And the KKK was in Gainesville. They all came down. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, what I was reading the history.
And they shot Sarah Carter on her front porch.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, is that we're going to go to the cemetery, but Sarah Carter came out there in the movie, according to the movie, she came out there to tell people, hey man, like, you know me, calm down, because this mob, now they're ready to get the second guy because they think the second guy helped. Right. So now they're saying 2 black people helped. Right. And I think it was the guy,
they called him Mr. Man.
No, Mr. Man in the movie was supposed to be a traveler, but to find out he was a cousin in real life. So Mr. Man was real. Yes. And his name...
Carrier, I'm sorry.
Right. And Mr. Man was, what the hell was his name? Sylvester Carrier. Yeah. But like I said, in the movie, they had a little bit of thing, but...
Yeah, they twisted that part of it a little bit.
Yeah, but the guy in the movie where they show either the son or the nephew when she came out, and they're telling her, don't go out there because they're celebrating a party, and they're like, don't go out there, don't go out there. Right. Someone shot her. Someone literally shot her, and the sheriff, everyone was mad, but no one said who did it. Right. So then all of a sudden, they start coming out shooting.
Yeah, they were killing women and children even just in their homes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how bad that got.
Yeah, and then they finally found a train that took them out of here.
And some white families sheltered them, hid them out.
Yeah, yeah. But
so they could get safe until you know, they could be safe.
All right, well, let's just drive a little bit here and then...
see how swampy it is.
We'll see. I'll show you guys how swampy it is out here.
Just imagine what it looked like in 1923.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, this is crazy. This is like real. I'm telling you, when you drive out here, it's nothing but swampland. So like they say in Florida, you want to buy a piece of property, and then you find out it's swampland. Well, this is definitely what they're talking about here.
Good cheap land, we got you.
All right, let's go take a little ride here. All right. Alrighty. Now, we're not historians. We just want to let you know. So sometimes the stories are all over the place. But if you go watch the movie Rosewood, you'll get a better general idea. But this is what we mean by swamp. And don't mind the TVs and the garbage. But
we know they weren't there in 1920.
But if you look back there, I promise you, this whole area is literally swampland.
Swampland.
Yeah.
Cypress trees are growing in it.
Yeah, I mean literally all this. Woo! You hear the echo? I don't know if you hear echo, but I mean literally, it's all swamp on both ends. So just imagine in 1923, or even before that, how these people were living. I mean, all the dangerous animals like frogs, snakes, alligators. You know what I'm saying? Turtles. I mean, shit.
Well, we still got that today, but
yeah.
So we know a little bit more about them today.
Yeah, we do. But yeah, I mean, at least you have a general idea. But I mean, if you're really a historian and you want to know something about Rosewood, well, look it up on the internet. I mean, it's very interesting.
A lot of wildlife.
Yeah, a lot of wildlife.
Even deer through here during even the daytime.
Yeah. All right. I mean, if you look at that right there as we're driving, where those electric poles are, that's all water. That's all swamp.
Yep.
Golly. And this is Rosewood, literally Rosewood.
I guess this kind of gives you an idea of what it would look like in Louisiana in the deltas.
True. True that. And then the one last house, of course, of Rosewood is up here.
We're going to try to see if we can see it.
Okay, from where the mile marker is, this is the only house that stood in Rosewood.
Original home.
The only original home that stood in Rosewood. And you can't get on there. Someone bought it in 1980 something. They didn't realize that the story behind it.
The history behind the home.
And the guy, he moved down here, and I think it's like 30 acres. He bought this house. And then when he realized, as the 90s were coming, that he was living in the original house. And I can't say that's the carrier's house or not. I mean, I have to do a little bit more history. But that is the 3-story house. And who knows, that might be the carrier where the lady got shot on the porch.
It could be.
The aunt and stuff. But it just shows you that, you know, they were living good down here.
Yeah,
I mean, they had a nice house and everything. But you go see the movie. It's a real good movie, a lot of good actors in it.
CBB hasn't seen it.
And Rosewood is an unincorporated town. There's no police out here. There's no city government. There's no mayor. There's no judges. This is basically run by the state of Florida, or a county has to approve everything here. No one can come into this town and just say, hey, you can't build that shed in your backyard.
Right.
Yeah, they can't do that. They have to go through some kind of county or somebody. The city can't come in here and do nothing to these people that live here.
And it looks, from what I can see, people still come to...
Yeah, leave flowers and everything.
Mm-hmm. They planted this little, like, flower bush.
Yeah. But it's nice out here. And this road leads to Cedar Key. And Cedar Key is really the ones that the sheriffs will probably patrol out here.
Yeah.
But, like I said, this is an unincorporated town here. Yeah. All right, well, until our next video, something we learned. Again, we're not history experts. We're just having fun and traveling, and when we learn these things, looking up on our phone. But from Rosewood, Florida,
see y'all guys
to our next video.